I really do not know if you are a real estate investor or a realtor like me. But one thing is certain, at the end of this video, you will be able to know where you stand in real estate because I have 5 questions to test your basic knowledge. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bisola Wildflower. I'm a real estate enthusiast based in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm an educator and a realtor. I help Nigerians home and abroad to safely invest in the dynamic Nigerian real estate market. So please make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you don't lose me and so that you get to see my new videos whenever I post. Let's begin. 5 questions to help you know where you stand in real estate. Test your knowledge. So my number 1 question I will be asking: what is the cheapest form of real estate in Nigeria? Have you answered it? Okay. So the cheapest form of real estate in Nigeria is land banking. That is buying land in underdeveloped places at cheaper rates. And then you do what? You sell it off later for profit after holding it for a very long time. It is possible that you have objections. Please use the comment section to let me know. If the cheapest form of real estate in Nigeria is not land banking, then what is it? I also love to learn from you, but certainly it is land banking. Typically buying raw lands in underdeveloped places but have high potentials of generating high return on investment. For example, places like Ekpe and Ibejuleki in Lagos. Question number 2 to test your knowledge in real estate in Nigeria. What are the key factors to consider when you want to determine the potential of a land or property in Nigeria? Have you answered the question? So when evaluating potential value of a property in Nigeria, the key factors to consider include: number 1, location, and this is always the most crucial factor because it determines the accessibility and how close that land or property is to essential services and what is the demand like. So properties in prime location typically have that higher value and potential for appreciation. Number 2 factor to determine the potential value of a land or property is the land title, because the type and validity of the land title will significantly impact the property's value. So secure titles like C of O or governor's consent add more value and they reduce the risk of ownership disputes. Number 3 is the infrastructure development. The presence of good roads, electricity, water supply, and other essential infrastructure will boost a property's value. So areas with ongoing or planned infrastructure projects are likely to see an increase in property value. So infrastructure is no doubt one of the key factors to consider whenever you want to determine the potential value of a land or property so that you can know if you can invest in it or not. And number 4 is the neighborhood and security. The safety and quality of the neighborhood, including crime rates, community amenities, and the reputation of that area will play a crucial role in determining the property or the land value. And number 5 is the market demand. The level of demand of land or properties in that area will definitely affect the value. So high demand, especially in urban centers or suburban regions, commercial hubs, they typically go up in prices and you are sure to the potential is definitely very good. And number 6, the future growth. So you need to consider the area's growth aspects such as the planned developments, government projects, the economic activities that are going on there. They can also indicate the potential appreciation in value of a land or property. And then the property condition, the physical state of the property, age, the design, the quality of construction, are there going to be the innovations, they all influence the current value of the land or property. That means they affect the overall potential of the land or property. There are more key factors to consider. That is just to mention a few. So you can let me know in the comment section what are other key factors to consider or that determine the property value or the land value of an investment. Okay, let's move on to number 3. What are the main types of land titles that are recognized in Nigeria? I suppose you've answered it within you. The main types of land titles recognized in Nigeria. Number 1, the certificate of occupancy, C of O. Everybody knows this. Every time you hear C of O, it rings a bell. They are definitely talking about land. C of O is an official document that is issued by the government, approves the owner's right to occupy and use a specific piece of land. It is typically issued for a leasehold period of 99 years in Nigeria. Number 2, the governor's consent. So for any transfer of land, even if the land already has a C of O, the transaction must be approved by the state governor. This consent validates the transfer and ensures the new owner's rights are recognized by the government. Number 3, the deed of assignment. What is a deed of assignment? A deed of assignment is a legal document that records transfer of property rights from the seller to the buyer. It's essential in establishing the new owner's title to the land. And number 4, the survey plan. Most people argue that survey plan is not a title per se, but regardless, it is a document that describes the boundaries and the exact location of a property. It is crucial for verifying the actual size and location of the land before you buy it. And number 5, we have the excision and the gazette. What is an excision? Excision refers to the process where the government releases a portion of land to indigenous people, allowing them to claim ownership. So once the land has been excised, the land is documented in a gazette, making it available for public purchase. Some time ago, I made a video explaining properly excision, and you'll be seeing it somewhere on the screen as a card. It is a video I made last year, so you can click on it to watch so you can understand better what excision means. I would love to learn more as usual, so if you have any questions or contributions to the land titles that I mentioned, please feel free to use the comment section. I'll be right there waiting for you. So let's go on to question number 5 to test your knowledge in the real estate in Nigeria. So number 4 question to test your real estate knowledge in Nigeria. What are the common risks associated with buying land or property in Nigeria? Over to you. I suppose you've answered the question within you, and how many risks could you think of? So in this video, I'll be mentioning just 6. There are more. You can let me know in the comment section. So common risks associated with real estate investments in Nigeria. Number 1 is the title disputes. There is a risk of buying property or land with unclear or fraudulent titles, which can lead to legal battles or loss of your investment. Number 2 is government acquisition. Some lands may be under government acquisition, or they may be earmarked for public projects, or which could lead to the revocation of ownership. Number 3 risk, inflation and economic instability. There are high inflation rates and economic instability that can erode the value of property or land investments, thereby affecting your rental income and resale value. Number 4 risk, fraud and scams. Real estate fraud is a significant risk in Nigeria, in which scammers may pose as landowners or developers to deceive unsuspecting investors. The next risk I have here with me is environmental risk. What do I mean by that? There are some properties in flood-prone areas, and they are susceptible to other environmental standards that can face damage, leading to loss of your investments, whether land or property. Number 6 on my list, I have tenant risk. If investing in rental properties, the risk of dealing with difficult tenants, rental defaults, or property damage is highly significant. So these are some of the common risks that are related to real estate investments in Nigeria. As I said earlier, there are more. Let me know more in the comment section. I'll be there waiting and reading. So the 5th question, which is going to be an extension of question number 4. How can you mitigate the risks that are mentioned in number 4? Title disputes, government acquisition, environmental, everything. How can you mitigate this risk? So for title disputes, how can you mitigate that risk? Conduct a thorough due diligence, including verifying the land title. You should do this through the appropriate government agencies and obtain legal advice to ensure that the title is legitimate and transferable. How can you mitigate the risk of government acquisition? You need to check the land status at the land registry or the land bureau and avoid properties with questionable or unverified title. Still goes down to due diligence. How can you mitigate the risk of economic instability and inflation, especially in Nigeria? You need to focus on properties in high demand areas where value is likely to appreciate even during economic downturns. And you should also consider investing in property that are for commercial purposes that may offer higher returns in challenging economic environments. There you are. How can you mitigate the risk of fraud and scam? Work with licensed real estate agents. Work with lawyers. Work with reputable companies. Avoid deals that seem too good to be true. And always verify the identity and credibility of sellers or agents. How can you mitigate the risk of environmental factors? Always make sure to conduct environmental assessments before purchasing the land or property. You need to choose locations with low risk of natural disasters and ensure that the property or the land has adequate drainage and other protective measures. To mitigate tenant risk, you need to screen your tenants thoroughly before leasing the property, and use legally binding lease agreements. Consider hiring a property management company to handle tenant relations and maintenance. By now, you should know where you stand in real estate investment in Nigeria. How knowledgeable are you? So the 5 basic questions I ask in this video are fundamentals that anybody that is into real estate, whether as an investor who buys or as a realtor who help sellers to meet their buyers. These are 5 basic questions you have to know. Let me know how many of these questions you got right. My name is Bisola. I'm a real estate educator and a realtor. I post videos like this, and make sure you subscribe to my channel right now so that you don't lose me and so that you can see my videos whenever I post. Please don't forget to like this video and share to your friends who might be interested as well. Share to your friends who are investors, share to your friends who are working in the real estate industry, and please give me a comment. My WhatsApp number is pinned on the screen. I help Nigerians who are abroad to safely invest in the Nigerian real estate market. Please feel free to chat me up to know the real estate opportunities that are available in Nigeria right now. I'll be glad to help. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching to the end.